Happy Monday. I'm Karen Marinez. We're here for class number 2 of NLP, and we're going to talk about some really good stuff tonight. Let me get myself together. I was wrapped up in conversation. So we're going to do an exercise again. This one is very brief, but it's a way to handle our negative thinking when we have negative thoughts, which we all have experienced, some more than others, right? So in this exercise, we're going to work with those negative thoughts that sometimes limit us. And we're going to learn how to transform them into positive and powerful internal messages, because it's all internal. The negative thoughts are internal, and we want to turn those negative thoughts into positive and powerful messages, okay? So I would like for you to close your eyes and think about a recurring negative thought that you often tell yourself. I'll give you a few seconds to think. All right. So it might be, I can't do this. And you may have experienced this with the course, right? I can't. This is too much for me. I'm overwhelmed. I can't do this. I'm not enough. I don't measure up to all the other people in the class or in general, or any other message that limits you. Okay. So you have that thought in your mind. I'd like for you to repeat it silently. But here's the caveat, because you're like, am I supposed to practice saying negative things to myself? No. Say it silently to yourself as if it's not your thought, as if it came from someone else. Okay? So think of what you're saying. I can't do this. I'm not enough. Whatever the negative thought is, repeat it silently in your head, but as if not in your voice, as if it's coming from someone else. And in this exercise, we're using our different senses. You're using visual, you're using auditory, right? So now I want you to change the characteristics of your thinking. Let's replace that thought with a positive and empowering one. Okay, so if your thought was, I'm not capable, change it to, I have what it takes to achieve it. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a few seconds to think about the negative thought in someone else's voice, and also now what you can replace it with, which is the opposite, positive and empowering. You got it? And now say that new message in your mind with a strong, confident, and motivating voice. Instead of, I'm not capable, it's, I have what it takes to achieve it. Okay, and now repeat this new message several times in your head with energy and conviction. I want you to hear your voice. Strong, empowering, positive. We got this. You good, girl. You are enough. You can do it. Okay, so now to finish off, every time that negative thought tries to appear, because it will, it's been coming for years, perhaps decades, maybe, transform its voice into something ridiculous, maybe a Mickey Mouse, maybe something like this. You're not enough. I'm not capable. Maybe something ridiculous in your mind. And now reinforce it with your new affirmation, but with that strong voice, with full of conviction. I got this. I am capable. I have what it takes. Now that's your new affirmation with a strong motivational voice. And with practice, your mind will get used to that change. It will get used to the change. You'll be doing it almost automatically after a while. How amazing would that be? Okay, exercise over. By doing that, we take control. Many people wake up and they open, before they can even open their eyes all the way, all the negative thoughts come to their head, and they're overwhelmed before they can even lift their head off the pillow. And it's like, oh, I can't. You can. I can. Right? We're going to take our control back, because that negative thinking has been controlling us for years, again, perhaps decades, but not anymore. We're not going to allow it. And you may say, yeah, I do that, but in 5 seconds, Karen, it comes back. It's okay. Keep at it. I'll be exhausted, but you'll be exhausted if you let it take you down anyway. So work against it. No, this is our new way of thinking. Okay. All right. So now I want to talk about maps. Some may have read or watched the PDFs or watched the videos. Some may not have. And I want to talk about the difference between the map and the territory. I'd like some audience participation. Don't feel alarmed if you don't want to participate. But if you'd like to, would anybody like to explain in their own words what the map and the territory are? If not, I'll explain it. Going once, going twice. Okay, so I'll explain. So, oh, Fabiola wants to? Or you're saying, good, Karen, explain.
I was trying to raise my hand.
Okay, sure, go.
So in my perspective, or my understanding of the reading and the audio, the video that you did, so our territory is reality. It's what's actually going on around us. And the map is like your mental way of navigating that territory or navigating reality. And it might not actually be reality. So
Exactly.
like having a map of your area, but maybe a street is missing or it's drawn incorrectly. So it's not an accurate portrayal of reality, but it is what you use to navigate real world.
Right. And navigate, or it's our interpretation. Excellent. Thank you, Fabiola. Perfect way of describing it. And I'm going to give you an example so you could see how that ends up working out. Let's call the territory taking care of elderly parents. Okay. I'll give you my dad passed away, but he had the physical, he had congestive heart failure, this, that, but his mind was good. My mom at that time physically was great, but she has dementia. Okay. So we have these two parents together, they're great together, right? But now it's time for the three children to step in, right? The territory is saying, again, reality, these folks, they need assistance. They can't do it on their own. Dad is very lucid and well mentally, but he can hardly walk. He's in a wheelchair. He needs a hospital bed. He's been in the hospital 2 weeks. Oh, he has doctor's appointments. He can't drive anymore, right? Mom, she's perfectly fine physically, but she can't remember if she even had breakfast this morning, right? So the territory or the reality is what? Does anyone you can just turn your mic on and just say it. What's the reality?
They need your help.
Exactly. And how many children are there? 3, right? So the parents need help. That's the reality. But each child, it's so interesting. And we're 3, it could be 7, it could be 10. I think everyone has experienced it either personally or seen it. Each adult child, right, takes a different point of view because their map is different. They interpret the situation differently. So child number 1, all hands on deck. Oh, I got to make appointments. All right. Okay, I got the appointments, the calendar, very diligent, writing down the appointments. Okay, the medication, I'll pick it up from the pharmacy and go with them to the doctor's appointments. Oh, you know what? My job, I gotta rearrange everything because I need to tell my boss I need more flexibility because I have to be on board with my parents. They need me. They're my priority now. And look, even my husband, I have to sit him down and explain to him, right? This is child number 1 that I can't do what my parents need me and I need him to pick up the slack at home. All right. That's child number 1's map. All hands on deck. We're going to go in strong, get these parents taken care of. Child number 2 says, oh, I can't do anything. I can't be there. I can't. But I'll support you financially. Anything you need, sis, let me know. I'll send you the money. But totally hands off. That's his or her map. And then child number 3 is totally indifferent. Doesn't call, doesn't ask, doesn't visit, totally uninvolved, as if it's not happening. Because their map, that's what it is. I can't see mom and dad like that, the decline, or their map is that they were terrible parents and I can't, they don't deserve. Whatever their interpretation and the way they view it, and that's their map. So you see, it's the same territory. The reality is these two people, these two parents need assistance. And all 3 children have a different map. Their own interpretation of the situation, the urgency of it, how they feel about the parents, how they appreciate or don't appreciate how the parents raised them, the level of respect, their emotional makeup. I can't see them like that. It just hurts me too much. And they handle the situation based on their map. Right? Now, if we look at it, they're all out of balance. One is the child that's all in, she's a little unbalanced, right? She's even ready to neglect her family, her own spouse and household. But she's all in. Each one operates according to their map. And so that's where the disagreements come in. Because child number 1 is like, look, especially to child number 3 that's totally indifferent, doesn't call, doesn't come by, doesn't ask, doesn't even text. You need to show up. This is too much for me. I can't handle this on my own. You're the child. They raised you too. Right? And it's, I can't. No, I don't want. And it's this whole, and then even the child number 2 that says, look, I'll give you the money. Just don't ask me to show up. I can't do any of that stuff. I can send groceries, But child number 1 would view that as so selfish. Child number 1 views child number 2 and 3 as so selfish. How could you, what's going on? And child number 3 and 2 may look at child number 1 like, slow it down. Like, wait a minute, this is like, you need to bring it down a notch. Isn't that interesting? So that's why it's so important to look at our map when we're looking at any situation that we're dealing with. My challenge, my goal, feeding myself healthy foods, shedding some pounds, moving my body to exercise. The reality of that is you could do that at any age. But my map was saying, oh, at this, after in the 50s, it's almost impossible. That's not. And me and Renee had a conversation. She's like, that is not true. But my map was saying, yes, it is. But is that reality? No, that's my interpretation or my cop out to say, don't need to make an effort because nothing's going to work because I'm over 50, right? It's so interesting. When we do our discussion afterwards, I would love to hear about your map and how you are changing it. The beautiful thing is we can rearrange, we can beautify, we can mow the lawn here, we can plant some flowers, we can beautify our map to come closer to reality, to match more so the territory, which is what's really going on. We're in control. But a lot of times and that's what these challenges are helping us to see. Like when it said, who have you blamed for not reaching in the past? Who have you blamed? My thing was my husband. I tell him all the time, when I married you, I was a size 6. But as I was talking to another person in the country, does he stuff the rice down my throat? Does he say, yeah, do it Dominican style, half your plate, rice? No, but and that's us eating, and I started, and then my portion sizes got bigger. But who did that? Not him, me. But my map said, it's his fault. And now looking at it, it's borderline ridiculous. It makes me laugh. We laughed, me and one of the students in the class, like, she said, oh, Karen made me laugh, the thought of him stuffing the rice down your throat, because it's ridiculous. But in my mind, it was an excuse You see? And so since I've been with you 20 something years, I've gained weight. Meanwhile, I've lost weight 3 times though. But we put these things in our head, and it's the way we interpret the situation. And NLP helps us to see, wait a minute, that's kind of far from reality, or I can't. But the challenge today was looking at what our resources, the last couple of days, what resources do we have to help us reach our goal? You know, woe is me, I can't. But then when you start listening, it's like, oh, I do have actually all the resources that I need. Maybe just one that will be, I was going to say de lujo in Spanish, but one that would make it exceptional, that would add so much more. But wow, I do have everything I need. This is really something. And it helps us to readjust our mind, start rearranging our map, putting flowers down, beautifying it so that our reality, our map can be more closer to reality. And we can actually do something about it. Because when our map is not beautified, we could tell ourselves all kind of things like, I'm not enough, or I can't do this, or I'm just gonna stop because I know it's just too much. But that's not reality. The reality is you have the time, or that's another, I don't have the time, it's just I'm overwhelmed. Those things may be true, but can you take control and say, you know what, but I'm gonna use 15 minutes in my day, less TV, less on my phone, and I'm going to sit myself down and read the challenge carefully. I may have to read it 2 or 3 times because this is all new to my brain. Mental well and emotional wellness, this is all new. It takes time to get into the groove, to accept that this is what I'm doing, for the brain to say, okay, we're going to focus on these words. What does that mean? Oh, right away, it's too much. But if we give ourselves time, and I've told many, give ourselves permission to take the time to take care of ourselves. This is the best form of self-care. It's better than a facial, a massage, mani-pedi. This is the best form of self-care you could ever do for yourself. And it's right at your fingertips because you're here. You paid, you made the effort, you're in. So let's do it. It's so beautiful. I've gotten in private many messages. I'm overwhelmed. Karen, it's too much. I don't know if I could do this. Karen, I don't understand this question, this. But each time at the end, you all have said, but I'm not giving up. I'm still I'm gonna set aside time. It's been a little over, but some people were sick, other things. But I'm gonna, and I love that. It's like, yes, keep at it. You're worth it. You deserve this. And you're worth the effort. Beautiful. So keep it up. Okay. So that's the end of class number 2. I'm going to end this recording so then we can have our little conversation with our screens on and no recording. Give me just a sec. For those that weren't here, we missed you, and enjoy the recording, and we hope to see you next time.